when we talk of ideology, we are talking about the framework that shape our society,
Yes.
our perception, our understanding of the world we live in. So in simple terms, when you talk about ideology, you talk about the ideas that has been put in a systematic way in order for us to live within them. When people see us practicing this and doing this, it creates a unifying way or outward look, not only inward look or mentally look. And outward look also is affected. It affects our culture, our politics, our economy. In fact, everything stands and falls on ideas.
Wow.
Even the greatest wars that we fight are not the one that we fight with physical guns or weapons.
All right.
But really, war is the one that we fight, should I say, the fight of ideas.
Yeah.
What is interesting about idea or ideology is that you can kill me, but you
All right.
can't kill my idea.
Wow. Wow.
So the idea will always outlive the inventor of the idea, even when you are dead. In fact, if you even look at, you talk about Christianity, you talk about Islam, you talk about Judaism, all these ideas.
All right.
So the biggest war between Christianity and Judaism is that Christianity, it adopted Roman ideas.
All right.
The word gospel also comes from war.
Yeah.
When you go and defeat another land or country, and then the general will be leading an army, and we defeat them. Then we will have the forerunner, the one who would run faster, the man with the speed, who run and arrive first to announce God's spur. That's why if you look at even the cross, there are cross that mean in this we shall conquer.
Yeah.
Then that was tend to say Constantine dreamed the cross of Jesus, but it was saying in this we shall conquer. In other words, they conquered us through religion. So if you look at Constantine, he was not accepting Christianity to be served, but he was accepting Christianity to conquer, so that he extend his kingdom. It was about his politics, not about his religion. That's why if you go to the archive, if you go to look at all the document about Constantine, you will not find not one sign that he was ever been in church,
Right.
that he was praying, that has a cross or any Christian symbol. No. Instead, you'll find the mitras.
Mitras, yes.
What people don't understand, what they think is a crown of Christ, is an ideology from the sun. Somebody created Christianity to control. Even the very word Roman Catholic, it means the rule of Rome, universal rule of Rome. So what he wanted to do, he wanted to create a universal religion. When they come to us, they have to say, yours is wrong,
All right.
ours is right. Ethnocentralism. Ethnocentralism is that I go to your culture. So what I do, I suppress your
All
culture.
right. All right.
I say, no, your culture is wrong. I use my culture as a global standard. If you are not doing like I am doing, you are wrong. It's either I condemn you, it's either I preach to you, I indoctrinate you with my culture, because my culture is the only way.
Wow.
It's the only way that is accepted to me. I want the whole society to live like me, get married like me, eat like me. Every life must be structured. It's called colonialism.
Yes.
You colonize your culture, you colonize your spirituality, you colonize your God, you colonize everything, so that whenever you want to accept anything as right, you have to confirm with me.
Yes.
So it's called ethnocentralism. Then the opposite of ethnocentralism, the most dangerous, which I think our generation is suffering from that diseases. So I normally say, when I'm thinking, looking at people, I say, these people are suffering from two diseases, mental diseases or cultural diseases. The first one is what I call ethnocentralism, which is where my culture is superior than yours, my culture is better than yours. If you are not doing it in my way, you are not accepted in me. In order for you to be part of me, believe like me, act like me. Conflict of ideology. In fact, when they brought us a gospel, they brought us a conflict of ideology only.
This is Somnalatic Sanity.
A world of sensible thinking.
A world of sensible thinking information.
Known, unknown.
And unknowable.
Indlela yokucabanga yolwazi oluphusiwe.
Olwaziwayo, olungaziwa, nolungenakwaziwa.
Let me greet you viewers at home and the listeners as we are here again with His Majesty King Somnala. Once again, you may connect with us on Lenala FM, and also our app is My Hope Network, and also on our YouTube channel, which is King Somnala-Nala Mandate. You can also find more about our network and what is it all about. But without wasting more time, let me just greet my king whom we are hosting today and welcome him on this broadcast and podcast today. King, you're welcome.
Plenteous greetings, Apostle. It's always a joy to be with you.
It's indeed a pleasure for me to sit next to His Majesty, a man that doesn't need much of introduction, a man of great wisdom, deep thoughts, deep insight, a man that you need to be well understanding. Don't just challenge him if you are not well informed, because he's deeply informed. I don't want to say well informed, he's deeply informed. That means that you have to dig deeper in order to be able to talk to him intellectually, spiritually, and otherwise. Every information is available. My king, without wasting any time, I just want to just go deep and throw the question that I have today, which will be speaking more on ideology. But my question is, can you explain the core concept of ideology in general and its fundamental purpose? And as you are there, and how do the religious and royal ideologies sometimes conflict or else complement societal developments?
I would say when we talk of ideology, we are talking about the framework that shape our society.
Yes.
Our perception, our understanding of the world we live in. So in simple terms, when you talk about ideology, you talk about the ideas that has been put in a systematic way in order for us to live within them. When people see us practicing this and doing this, it creates a unifying way or outward look, not only inward look or mentally look. And outward look also is affected. It affects our culture, our politics, our economy. In fact, everything stands and falls on ideas.
Wow.
Even the greatest wars that we fight are not the one that we fight with physical guns or weapons. But really, war is the one that we fight, should I say, the fight of ideas.
Yes.
If you look at China and America, their war is based on ideas. It's based on ideas. Many people doesn't know that. Even what happened between South Africa and American Trump and so on.
Yes.
You are looking at the ideas, what ideas that we cherish. So the whole society is formed and is structured on the idea.
Yes.
Conflict. Conflict is the war of idea. What is interesting about the idea or ideology is that you can kill me, but you can't kill my idea.
Wow.
So the idea will always outlive the inventor of the idea.
Powerful.
Idea, in other words, will always outlive you. Even when you are dead, there are many people who have coined, who have structures, ideas, and that we stand for. You talk about Christianity, you talk about Islam, you talk about Judaism. All these are ideas.
All right.
So the biggest war between Christianity and Judaism is that Christianity, it adopted Roman ideas or Greek ideas. And while Judaism, it stick with its own ideas.
I see.
You look at Christianity is built upon the philosophy of Philo.
All right.
When it says, in the beginning was the Word. That's Philo's philosophy.
Yes.
It says, by his word, he holds everything. By his word, idea, or logos. It's the same thing. That's Colossians. If you go to Philo, it's the same thing. That's why sometimes there's a big debate. Did John and Paul build? No doubt. Yes, they built on Philo's philosophy.
Wow.
Because what Philo philosophy says is taking the Jewish philosophy together with the Greek philosophy and mixed together. Yes.
Wow, that means this is a joint of philosophies or ideologies that they build a certain
So they
religion
shape
out of.
how we look at the word, how we interpret the event, the things that are happening. They make us decide what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
Like it or not. And many people, they don't know why they eat breakfast. It's somebody's idea. Democracy is somebody's idea. I think the first country to practice democracy was Athens.
All right.
Yes, they practiced for the first time where people voted, but slaves and women were not counted. But those are the first people who started to practice the idea. I think it's Plato who said, although we have chosen, talking about democracy, the way, the idea in which the world should be governed.
Yes.
But he says it's not perfect.
Wow. This is deep thoughts indeed. You really answered me even the second question that I was going to answer. Which
You are watching Somnalatic Sun,
A world of sensible thinking.
a world of sensible thinking information
Known unknown.
and unknowable.
Indlela yokucabanga yolwazi oluphusile
Olwaziwayo, olungaziwa, nolungenakwaziwa.
nolungenakwaziwa.
what have the religious doctrines influenced the cultural practices and social institutions? If maybe you can provide certain examples on how these influences have evolved and cause also some tensions within societies. And as we are aware, maybe touching on Christianity, which is so much Eurocentric, and it came to Africa. Africa had their own principles, and now it has also influenced them in a certain way. It had built also certain tensions.
I'd like to touch on what you say. You talked about Eurocentric. Many people here, when we use that, they don't understand what we mean. Eurocentric means the Christianity that is centered
Yes.
on European culture and beliefs. The Christian that is Eurocentric, it means it got Mithras, it got all these other gods involved.
Yes.
So in Jesus, all this is embodied. That's what many Christians doesn't understand.
Yes.
Eurocentric gospel, it means the word gospel also comes from war.
Yeah.
When you go and defeat another land or country, and then the general will be leading an army,
All right.
we defeat them. Then we will have the forerunner, the one who would run faster, the man with the speed, who run and arrive first to announce God's spell. God's spell. In other words, he runs to announce the good news. What are the good news? Meaning we have defeated the country that we were fighting with. We're now taking over. We're defeating. That's why if you look at even the cross, there are cross that mean in this we shall conquered.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
that was tend to say Constantine dreamed the cross of Jesus, but it was saying, in this we shall conquer. In other words, they conquered us through religion. So if you look at Constantine, was not accepting Christianity to be served, but he was accepting Christianity to conquer, so that he extend his kingdom. It was about his politics, not about his religion. That's why if you go to the archive, if you go to look at all the document about Constantine, you will not find not one sign that he was ever been in church, that he was praying, that has a cross or any Christian symbol. No. Instead, you'll find the mitras.
Yes.
What people don't understand, what they think is a crown of Christ, is an ideology from the sun. It's not necessary what they think it is.
Yeah.
So they are playing a game. So it's an ideology. Somebody created Christianity to control. Even the very word Roman Catholic, it means the rule of Rome, universal rule of Rome. So what he wanted to do, he wanted to create a universal religion. You know, you understand the universal religion, it means when they come to us, they have to say, yours is wrong, ours is right. That's a great influence of the ideology.
I see.
It's like what they call ethnocentralism. Ethnocentralism is that I go to your culture. So what I do, I suppress your culture.
All right.
I say, no, your culture is wrong. I use my culture as a standard, as a global standard. If you are not doing like I am doing it, you are wrong. It's either I condemn you, it's either I preach to you, I indoctrinate you with my culture, because my culture is the only way. It's the only way that is accepted to me. So I want the whole society to live like me, get married like me, eat like me. Every life must be structured. It's called colonialism.
Yes.
But you colonize your culture, you colonize your spirituality, you colonize your God, you colonize everything, so that whenever you want to accept anything as right, you have to confirm with me.
Yes.
So it's called ethnocentralism. Then the opposite of ethnocentralism, which is the most dangerous, which I think our generation is suffering from that diseases. So I normally say, when I'm thinking, looking at people, I say, these people are suffering from two diseases, mental diseases or cultural diseases. The first one is what I call ethnocentralism, which is where my culture is superior than yours. My culture is better than yours. If you are not doing it in my way, you are not accepted in me. In order for you to be part of me, believe like me, act like me. That's ethnocentralism. The second one disease is xenocentralism. Xenocentralism is the most dangerous one. I would rather take the first one because that one is about being proud of my own. This one says I denounce my culture. It says the only good culture, the only good practice are somebody else's culture. Which in my view is the same tactics that was used by Senator McCall in 1836 or 1832. When he came to Africa, he traveled through length and breadth of Africa, the whole of Africa. When he was traveling, he was just surveying and checking how they're going to defeat us. After looking, he went back to give a report. When he gave a report, he said, no, I've traveled through the length and the breadth of Africa. He said, I've never found a poor person, uneducated person, homeless person. He said, these people are in debt. We cannot defeat them. Their culture, their system of education. Now listen, that is around 18. He says, I've observed those people. There's no way we can touch them. He said, but I have a suggestion. Let's make them think. If it's not English, it's inferior. In order for you to be superior, you must be England nationalized. You must be. So, hence, until today, The good way of dressing,
Uh-huh.
it must be theirs.
That's it.
The way of worship. So when they came to us, what did they do? They demonize our spirituality. They demonize our way of spiritual communication, our system, family structure, business structure, society, you name it. How we run our things. It was taught. Even our economy. Even if you become rich, you are still pushing them. You cannot be richer than them. There's no way. Because you are using their system. They will always be on top of the system. That's how dangerous it is. So we living in the society that is on a centralism.
Yes.
It's very xenotic. The people that says, okay, if I get married, I must first go to church and do a white wedding. So it's called umshado mkhulu.
Yeah.
If you say king, if you say nduna, it's not powerful.
Wow.
But if you say mayor, councillor, president,
yes.
you name it, comrade, prime minister, it's more powerful. And they change our kings into chiefs.
Yes.
That's how dangerous. We live in the culture whereby a king is no longer the highest and final authority, but the president
Is the highest authority.
If you look at European or Western countries, too much ideologies.
Yes.
You talk about socialism, you talk about communism, you talk about authoritarianism, you talk about autocracy,
democracy.
Democracy, all these crazy isms, all of them, they end up fighting among themselves. So whoever comes first and grab us, then will push his ideologies to us. Even in Christianity, Lutheran came from German.
Yes.
They preach the ideology of Martin Luther. Jehovah's Witness, they preach the ideology of
Arianism.
you name it. And most Pentecostal churches, they preach what?
Athanasius theology.
Bishop from Alexandria.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Trinity is one of ideologies.
That's very true.
Yeah, somebody's idea of what Jesus is. Trinity is the child of the idea of God and Jesus are made of the same substance.
All right.
That's an idea. Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
Those who believe Jesus was created as the first creature.
Yes.
Before, and some they say he's the substance of angels, but it's not of the substance. He's deified, but it's not really equal with God.
So it's a conflict of ideologies.
Conflict of ideology. In fact, when they brought us a gospel, they brought us a conflict of ideology already. Lutheran, Wesley, Roman Catholic, American bots, Dutch Reform. Dutch Reform is the first one to bring us Christianity. The first one to bring us Christianity.
Wow.
So hence, I normally say, Baba, our community as a whole is ruled by the people who invented their ideas. He who print his thought, ideologies, or his ideas, he control how we think, how we see things, how we move. He structured us. And some of these people are in the tomb, are dead, long dead. But we are ruled by them. Even when you go to the court, you are judged by their ideologies.
Wow.
Even what is sin. There was a time we didn't have a word sin. Even the idea of cleansing your sins with the blood of a human, that was totally not accepted with us. Human sacrifice. I don't know what got into us. Today we sing about the blood that was shed for me so that I can be washed from it. The blood of another human brings heaviness, brings darkness in you, bring more sins. If I may use it. We didn't have sin, we got amacala, namaphutha.
Yes. Thank you, my king. Viewers at home, I believe that you are really grasping and taking up the information. This is too deep. This needs the more than intellectual. It needs you to be more grounded and more open-minded, and don't just take it to answer for criticism, but take it as an information of a lifetime that can change your life for the better.
You are watching Somnalatic Sun.
A world of sensible thinking.
A world of sensible thinking information.
Known unknown.
And unknowable.
Indlela yokucabanga yolwazi oluphusiwe.
Olwaziwayo, olungaziwa, nolungenakwaziwa.
My king, we already shared deeper things. We know you with the philosophy or the ideology of Plentiology.
Yes.
But could you elaborate on the field of Plentiology and discuss its relevance in critically examining the religious and cultural narrative for today? Or how is it fitting in today's world concerning the religious and cultural? And also, how does this discipline or this ideology of Plentiology challenge the mainstream beliefs and ideologies? You already spoke about them, this mainstream, but now there's this ideology of Plentianity or Plentiology. Then how does it fit in, or how does it bring a change in this whole narrative?
The heart of Plentiology
Yes.
is to develop an idea of accepting all the ideology without condemning and judging them as wrong. So that's what I would coin as Plentian centralism.
All right.
Plentian centralism or Plentian centralism. What I mean by that, there is what they call in life religious pluralism.
Yeah.
Religious pluralism is like in Plentianity, we believe in Plentio-idealism.
All right.
Plentio-idealism, we believe that ideas are many. One needs to take what idea he chose that is fitting in his life. Let me make an example. The very word philosophy is made up of two words. Filio, meaning love, or Sophie, meaning wisdom or knowledge, or thought. It originates from the word thought. Every idea, every wisdom, every knowledge is connected, find its root from the thought. In other words, in simple term, philosophy will be a love of a certain thought or system, sequence of thought. So when you talk about ideology, also you must remember that in ideology we deal with a system of belief, culture, whatever. The system, not only the system where you say you focus on your own in terms of Plentiology, but we look beyond the world of Plent. We look the world we live in. That's why in Plentianity we view ourselves as a community within the community. We accept diversity of religion, what they call religious plurality. So if you go to Islam, they believe in Allah, they believe is their way. That's a standard of approaching God. That's the only way. That's a right way of approaching God. You go to Christianity, they will say, okay, this is a standard. Without Jesus, it's called absolutism. Absolutism, I don't believe in absolutism. In other words, absolutism, they say there is one standard by which everybody must be judged. There is one man, everybody must judge. So Plentianity is very versatile, is very open at the same time without losing our identity, who we are. For example, I am Hermetin Nala of the Nala tribe. I'm unique from all the Nalas, although I'm a part of the Nalas. I cannot force the whole family of mine to be me. As well as also, I can't force the neighbors with a different surname to live like the Nalas live.
Yeah.
This idea of pluralism, what others they call relativism.
Yes, yes.
Relativism is when you say everything is relative. There's nothing wrong in its own. You know, as long as you practice in relationship of who you are, where you are. For example, you go to Swaziland, a Dlamini can marry a Dlamini. It's not a big issue.
Yeah.
You go to us, you can marry even the same surname, even if you don't know whether it's your sister or not. But you go to the Bible, you find that also that when they started, the Bible throws the idea that Abraham married his sisters, and everybody was marrying his sister. Even in the so-called King David story, you will see the sons marrying another daughter of David. So the whole thing about a Plentiologist, which I will explain later exactly, but there's no big difference. Plentiology is made up of two words, plenty and the word ology, which simply mean a systematic thinking or thought that has sequences. It's not like go down and then it contradicts itself. It's a unified system of thinking, and then even if you get down there, you still get what you are accepted, while we are open to other religions. In Plentianity, we believe our life is not based on what will happen by and by. It's not motivated by hell, that if you do this, you will burn to hell. We don't believe in that.
Yes, yes.
Secondly, we don't believe that when you die, you go to heaven. No. And thirdly, we don't even believe God is waiting for you to judge.
Yeah.
So what we believe the life that you live right now, if it suits you and it doesn't help you at the expense of others, we believe in Plentianity.
Wow.
That's how you should live. And the life you live here is not different than the life you live after.
Wow, that's powerful.
It's just you will be outside the body. You are what you are. I believe when you die, it's like the computer gets out with hard driver, with the memory, everything, every information is there, and getting to another different motherboard.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. In a sense, we subscribe in the idea of the existence and the acceptance of multiple faith, belief, approach when it comes to God.
Wow.
Not in monogamism, where we say only one way.
Yeah.
We don't believe in that one. We also believe we can learn from others. We also believe that as a Plentian, don't have a fixed mindset. There's a difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says this is how it's done, which is more on absolute. You say this is how it's done. If I die, I die. I'm doing it this way. I can't go this side. I can't be flexible. They even use the word compromise. You see, what I like about the growth mindset is that I grow. When I make a mistake, I don't, get depressed. I take that as a lesson. As a lesson, I'm learning. As a result, we look at life as a matter of success rather than defeat. For example, Thomas, who made a globe, electric light. I think 99 times he failed. So he said, I've learned in 99 ways to not do it.
Wow.
So that's a mentality of success, a mentality of growing. We learn, we grow. We are open to do other things and learn other stuff. Just because yesterday I prayed sleeping with my tummy and then God spoke to me, it doesn't mean today I must do that. Try something else.
Wow.
I think same thing when it comes to sex. What people don't understand, they think there is a standard sex. And I listen to those who teach about sex. Sometimes I say the most misleading people, sometimes it can be those people who are called sex experts.
That's true.
Because our body are not the same. Our choice, our preferences are not the same. So I normally say to people when it comes to sex is about exploring. Learning each other every day. In fact, that's how life is. You know, when I woke up today, it was cold. I tried to go where I normally go for sunshine, and I couldn't find it today. So life is full of surprises, and that's why it's not boring.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, my King. We are really learning. Viewers at home, you can also have an opportunity to sit down with the King. There's what is called a face-to-face. Dial this number 079 1755 628 079 1755 628. You can book for yourself or your family, even some other people, so that you can sit down with the King and be able to speak out whatever is affecting you, whether it's sickness, whether you want advice concerning life issues, marital issues, financial issues, business-wise, anything that concerning or that seems difficult, you can have the privilege to sit down with the King face to face. Also, make sure that you are downloading our app, My Warp Network, on your phone, and make sure that you have it so that you can always be able to watch the King every now and then, anytime, anywhere you want, and listen to Inala FM. Thank you, my King, also for sharing deeply about Plentiology, which is now I've realized that it's not xenocentrism. It's much different. It's not also ethnocentrism.
While you talk that, I wish Plentian or every Plentian will listen to what I'm going to say.
Yes.
I pray that we don't become xenocentralism. That means living what has been working for us. Just because people are blackmailing what we are doing, the way we worship our God. I have seen people whom I have raised from the dead, healed from cancer, AIDS, powerful things. Just because people think there is a right way. I believe the right way is what brings result to you without stamping on anyone's feet. So I pray that Plentians will learn, as I said, what we believe, our ideology, that what is it that you practice and it works for you when you talk to God. Secondly, I pray that Plentian will not be fixed mindset where they say we have been doing like this, we have been choosing when God is saying something else to them. Flexibility is very important. We learn every day, we are open. I normally call myself a student of everything and everybody else. Whether you are a fool, whether you are a para, whether I'm a student, I learn from everybody else. I learn from others' mistakes. I learn even from my haters. I learn from them. We must be open-minded. Open-minded means growth-minded. We must grow in whatever you do. And in other words, learn to develop yourself in what you do. Don't be stagnant in what you are doing. You are stuck with this, and it's boring. Life is boring. Keep on doing the same thing every day.
Wow. Thank you indeed, my King. Just jumping to another question, but...
Thank you for watching Somnalatic Sanity. For more information, contact us on 079 1755 628. Like and follow our page on Facebook at King Somnala Mandate. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube at King Somnala Mandate. Hit the notification bell so you can be the first to watch a new video every time once uploaded. Leave your comment on the comment section. Also, follow King Somnala on TikTok at King Somnala_Plentiologist. Follow King Somnala on My Warp Network app. You can download the app on Google Play Store or find it in your Google Chrome.